sure to follow our amazing sponsors, Fiya Infusion, Tax Strategy, Ask Blue Jay, Lavish Looks by MzMetchi, and Black Dollar Days. And be sure to tune into our other programming throughout the week. All right, y'all, let's get it. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another week of the Blueprint Live with your girl, MzMetchi. Brought to you by Philly 101.5 and Indy 95.3 and Fluent Radio. Shout out to our partners, Be Your Own Kind and Ms. Zeewiththetea, honey. And thank you to our amazing sponsors, Tax Strategy, Black Dollar Days, Fiya Infusions, and last but not least, Lavish Looks by MzMetchi. Okay, tune in every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time and at 9 p.m. Eastern Time in Philly. All right, y'all, it's showtime. Let's go.
What it do? Your favorite cousin Young Jock checking in, and right now you're tuned into the Blueprint Live with my favorite MzMetchi. All right, hey man, you know what it is. Keep doing what you're doing and keep it right here. Chill.
Yo, what's happening? What's happening? Oh, it's your boy $2 Fabo, Bankhead Fabo. Oh, hey man, check this out. I want y'all to tune in right now to the Blueprint Live with MzMetchi, and I want you to tune in every Thursday at 6:30 Central Time.
Pardon my scale,
hey y'all.
I'm to the field.
I'm just jamming out real quick. Come on in. The water is fine. Come on in. I hope you have your cocktails. I've got a great show for you tonight, y'all. What's going on? Let's just jam real quick. Let me see who's in the comments. Hey, Tracy. Thank you for tuning in. What's it, Tracy? Miss Boss. Hey, girl. Good to see you. I hope you've been having a great week. I've been having a great week. It's about to get even better. Just have to rock out for a second. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome back to another week of the Blueprint Live. Wherever you are, I hope that you are just having a great week, having a good night. Shout out to my family, the Fluent Radio family, Philly, Jams 95.3 and Indy 101.5 in Jersey, okay? So if you missed tonight's show, you can catch me at 9 p.m. Eastern time over there, okay? I announced last week the syndication for my show, and I am super, super excited about it. I've still been on cloud nine as far as that's concerned. So, hey, Miss Monet is in the building. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. If you all are just joining in, make sure that you drop your businesses. Remember, I am here to promote you. It's all about what you've got going on, okay? If you like what was on my playlist, just opening up the show, that was Dark Room Confessions, okay, by Kunle. It's streaming on all platforms. So make sure you all go and support him. He is an independent artist. This is a friend of mine. We went to SIU, tore the streets down in Carbondale, okay? And he is making music for everyone. So you all make sure that you check him out, okay? Before I go any further, you know I have to thank my amazing sponsors, okay? Shout out to Tax Strategy. It is currently tax time. So if you all did not know that, where have you been? That's number one. But make sure that if you are looking for a tax professional or looking for any financial help for your business, for your own personal life, whatever you've got going on, or you know someone that is in need, make sure that you reach out to Tax Strategy, okay? Shout out to Fiya Infusions. Make sure that you subscribe to them, okay? Make sure you go and subscribe so you could be the first one to get updates for their new products. And of course, last but not least, Black Dollar Days, okay? The next Black Dollar Days initiative is coming up in April. So if you missed the one for this month, it is definitely coming up. You want to make sure that you register your business so that we know who to shop with on the Black Dollar Days, okay? Tonight, we are just, as far as the topic, it's so many things to talk about. I mean, we got to really, really get into it. So tonight, we're just going to go ahead and shoot the breeze, okay? That is a segment that I love from my partner, Be Your Own Kind, Miss Renita Betts, okay? That's my girl. She has the segment where it's just like, hey, put it out there. What are some things that's going on? So this particular segment for our topic of the night is sponsored by Be Your Own Kind, okay? Now, you all know this week I have been promoting y'all. I have someone very, very special backstage. So I'm really, really excited about it. I shout out to Tamika Inc. Okay. She definitely connected us, and Miss Monet, like everyone. I'm just so happy about this particular guest. Y'all can tell that I'm excited. So she is a lawyer, okay, an author, a speaker, and a TV host, okay. And if you do not know who she is, you definitely are going to learn tonight, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my very special guest for tonight. Give me a thumbs up if it's good to go. Good to go. I have Miss Kimra Major-Morris joining me, you all. So make sure you stay locked there. Hold on, bringing you in right now.
Major-Morris.
Major-Morris in the house. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Look, I was telling them I'm so delighted to have you on. This is a treat this week. It really is.
Thank you.
It is.
Congratulations on your syndication. That's awesome.
Thank you. I've been doing the show since January of 2019. And, I tell everybody, I'm like, look, when you feel like you want to give up, stick in there because things can really, really grow from that if you are consistent and you keep going.
Absolutely. Those are wise words because it does get to you after a while. You have to remember your why.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? The reason why I'm so excited to talk with you tonight, first off, all of those things, those titles that I named, I know that is only a small fraction of all that you do. But, I really want you to we want to walk through your journey because tonight you're promoting your new book that you have out.
Right.
But can you just kind of share with us how you got started and, and how you got into law?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, shout out to the Philly crew. I'm from Wilmington originally, and I went to school in Pine Forge, Pennsylvania, in middle school and high school. So I'm just happy to be here. This is home. Shout out to Penn Legacy and Miss Monet and Tamika. I appreciate the hookup and their services. But I was born in Wilmington, kind of traveled up the East Coast, down the East Coast as I got older with my parents. I've lived several places. But I always had a creative background. So I grew up playing instruments. Then when I got to be a teenager, almost in my 20s, hip hop, that was a hip hop launch.
Right.
And so I was experimenting with hip hop, and lo and behold, I had skills.
Okay. You strike me as the type you got it going on.
So it was funny because it really did start off as a joke. I wrote this poem about credit. And, because when you're 18, it's so confusing. They tell you need credit to get credit. And it's this whole circular thing. So that was my first rhyme. I let my producer friend hear it. And that was my launch. That was my first one. And then the bug bit me. So I was doing that for 5 years, from 18 to 23, got to work with the late Betty Wright. I got to open up for Jack the Rapper, got to do some recording with Professor Griff and a bunch of people that I was honored to work with. So that went on, and then I became a mom.
Okay.
So I pivoted. Thankfully, I was in school while I was pursuing this music career, and I majored in TV production. So when my hip hop career, I pretty much put that down to focus on motherhood. I turned to my skills as a video editor, a videographer. I became a red carpet person for BET, doing the Soul Train Awards and things like that. So, still staying in the entertainment business, even though I was now moved, I was working behind the scenes. Okay. So that lasted for several years. So we're talking from 94, I worked in Atlanta for Bobby Brown, Bosstown Studios, Sounds of Blackness, their management company. Then, as many people know, the entertainment jobs are not the most stable. So I ended up getting an entry-level position at CNN just because I needed stability. Moved to CNN New York, and the financial information is on the screen. I was a Chiron operator, but for CNN Atlanta, I was the one typing the words on the screen for breaking news and that sort of stuff.
You type fast, I'm sure.
I type fast. You got to spell it right. Whoever's approaching the microphone for breaking news.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, I did that for a number of years. So from the mid 90s, we're talking to 2003.
Okay.
Well, because I was a video editor for almost 5 years for HBO. So still working behind the scenes, really, really loved it. But by now I'm a mom of two. And so I said, can I see myself doing this for another 20 years or so. And we all know, as you know, there is such a thing as age discrimination, especially in the production industry. And so when I would go on these gigs, I would be in the airport lugging my tripod, all the camera equipment, all that stuff. And I tried to imagine my 50 or 60-year-old self doing this and said, okay, it's time to pivot again. So I pivoted so many times at this point, I've made a complete circle, right?
Okay. No, well, look, I mean, at least they were all, positive and you were moving up. So it's just like
Yeah,
it was needed.
absolutely. So by now I'm 37, right? Well, of course I'm past that, but by the time I'm having this conversation with myself, and I said, what can I do to write my own checks? Because in the entertainment industry, if there's a change in management, or media, then your job is at stake. And so after the layoffs and after, the jobs that could have been cut, I decided to go back. My dad always said, nobody can take your skills away.
That's
So
right.
I continued to invest in myself, because there were periods here where I was a single mom. And I said, I'm going to go to law school because if I go to law school, then I can represent the people that I've been working with. There's a need here because people are intimidated by lawyers. I want to be the approachable lawyer who's educating people and really helping to keep people, on the up and up. So I started law school at 37. And, sometimes people get depressed at 40. I kind of planned it and I said, I want to really be able to celebrate 40. We say we're celebrating, but, truth be told, when people hit these milestones, it's mixed emotions. Like, okay, yeah, I made it, but ooh, I'm old,
Right. Like, yikes. Yikes.
So I just wanted something that I could combine with whatever feelings might come with 40. So I was really happy to graduate from law school, the illustrious FAMU College of Law.
Okay, come through
In May
FAMU.
of 2007. And, so I went right into private practice because I knew enough people. You remember, I've been working in the entertainment business since that late 80s.
Right.
So my network was in place. So I went right into doing entertainment contracts, was getting a lot of referrals, and I discovered intellectual property as a practice. Because in school, and this just goes to show the lack of exposure, because think about it, I was already in the industry, but wasn't even familiar with intellectual property law as a practice area. I only knew entertainment law. So you might be wondering, what's the difference? It's
Yeah.
very little. We're still doing copyright and trademark law,
Okay.
focusing on those areas. It just depends on your clientele. So it's
Okay.
intellectual property if you're representing the business owners, the brands. It's entertainment law if you're representing talent.
Okay.
And then it gets into the royalties and that sort of stuff. So there are some entertainment law specific things, but generally speaking, we're still talking about copyrights and trademarks.
Okay. And
So
I definitely wanted not, I'm sorry to cut you out. I did
Mhm.
want to, ask you about that. So I'm glad that you kind of went into it because, some people are like, okay, what is,
What is it, right?
intellectual property and everything. And I think that sometimes it comes from not being informed of what actually falls under that umbrella, right?
Right, because we're not talking about it. So intellectual property covers 4 areas. Copyrights, that's your creative content, your music, your literature. It could be a variety of things, your audio visual works.
Okay.
That's the copyright category. So we're most familiar with that one because I think it's in the news more often.
Yeah.
Trademarks, I'm starting to see more posts about trademarks. That's the brand identity. So just like you wouldn't want anyone to infringe on your personal identity or commit personal identity theft, then you have to protect your brand identity, which is your business name, your logo, your slogan, those things that identify the source of your products and services specifically. And then there's trade secrets. Trade secrets you don't register, you just keep them a secret. KFC and Coca-Cola have done an amazing job at keeping their processes a secret for making the carbonated drinks or the
Okay.
fried chicken, whatever their product. And then the last thing is patents,
Okay.
certainly not least. But those are the inventions. So people get those mixed up with copyrights. But the difference between a patent and a copyright is a patent has a function.
Okay.
So, we talked about copyrights being creative works, but I can design a lamp, for example,
Mhm.
and or draw a lamp, and it's copyrightable content. But then as soon as the lamp has a function, now it belongs in the patent category. Now, whether it's an invention or not is the question. You could
Okay.
have just improved it, and then you might have a design patent, but we know it's already been invented. So if
Okay.
you get a patent on a lamp right now, it's most likely going to be a design patent. So 4 areas to intellectual property. I know, but
That's a lot. Look, and for everyone listening in, if you have something, because you practice, so you are able to help other businesses and people that are looking to protect whatever they have going on. So look,
yeah,
y'all better go.
it's
They better go.
very rewarding because I always say you can't protect what you don't know you have. And
That's right.
so people just think, some people are just naturally creative. We all have gifts. And if you're a business owner, you absolutely have intellectual property because you're doing business under a name, right?
Right.
And then you probably have content on your website, which could be copyrightable content, your social media posts and just all, you just don't know what you don't know. So this is definitely something we should be talking about more, which is why I'm really happy to be on your show and hoping that people are tuning in and learning.
That's right. We want them to be educated and just to leave and know, like, the things that are ahead of them, because, the primary source for my show is to really promote others and to put things out there, but also so that we can be informed and up to date on what's really important to us, no matter what we do.
Absolutely. So I went from, I started off, of course, in private practice. I opened my practice in '09. And then while I was waiting to be licensed, because I had a waiting period because I was older as a law student and the background check took longer. So while I was waiting for that, somebody at my church that I used to go to said, well, could you do a workshop of any topic of your choice for the technology department?
Okay.
So as I was trying to find stuff to write about, then I stumbled upon the church copyright issue, which is that there is something called the religious service exemption that's a part of copyright law. And basically it says if you are performing or displaying a copyrighted work in a place of worship, like in-person worship services,
Yes.
then you don't have to worry about copyright infringement liability. Okay, that's what this little carve out in copyright law says.
Okay.
However, this is way before we ever contemplated streaming our church services. So now we're not in person. Now we're streaming the service. And so I was just so fascinated that more people weren't talking about this church copyright issue. So I, initially was doing a bunch of workshops for various technology departments. And then I said, well, there were always more questions than we had time for. And that's when I decided to do like a quick reference guide so that would help people to understand what the law is and how it really applies to the way some general practices that we have in worship service where we don't even think about copyright issues. And so it's been a fascinating journey. And I wrote that book in 2009. And so here comes the right. And I just printed a couple of like 200 copies. It was a project for me. I printed 200 copies and I sold them all. And, all these years I've been saying, I'm going to do another edition to that. I'm going to update that book. And here comes the pandemic with all these new people now doing virtual worship services as a result of not having the in-person gatherings. And I said, okay, I got to redo this book.
It's time. Because, I was wondering, just of course, like kind of knowing the full scope of all the things that you've done, I was like, what was it that, this particular book, because that's very specific. And you're right. I of course watched church online and everything and didn't even think that they could be affected by those things because it just doesn't seem that it would be that way, but it is.
Right. Because if you go to a nightclub or if you throw a concert in the park, you need a permit, you need a blanket license because the artists need to be paid. And so I guess just for the policy purpose behind this this religious service exemption, they're just saying, let people worship. Let's not worry about, let's relax the copyright laws. But now you have to look at all the artists who were unable to go on tour during the pandemic. They substantially lost income like so many of us. So now people are worshiping. And that could have been a stream of income or should be a stream of income. But because people aren't aware of the church copyright laws, then the artist doesn't get paid. And so people will ask, well, are people really suing churches? And the answer is yes. I put some examples of that in the back of the book, some actual cases where people came after churches. But why put the artist in that position? I mean, that would be awkward. Let's say you're
Yeah.
Kirk Franklin, and
Right. It's like,
people are, you're
I
happy that
don't
people
know.
are enhancing their worship experience with your music,
That's right.
but then you should not have to go after them legally. So this book realistically is it gonna make people who would intentionally stop infringing? No, but it should put it on your moral compass, and at least, at the very least, educate you about copyright laws, so
Okay.
that once you know better, hopefully you do better.
I want to know, since you have such, a specific niche is, with law and what you practice,
Mhm.
has there been someone, because I always love to hear these stories, so pardon me, but just where like you worked with them and maybe they didn't really understand that what they were doing, that it was intellectual property and that it needed to be protected.
All the time, all the time. I mean, there are people who oh, this is good. There are people who one of the most common misunderstandings,
Mm-hmm.
about trademark law, for example, is people think that once they register an LLC in their state, they think they have acquired some trademark rights. Absolutely not. They also think that once they purchase a domain, that they own the name and that they have trademark rights. No, the only way you have trademark rights is if you're using your brand identity, which could be your business name, slogan, logo, other forms of brand identification or source identification, in
Mhm.
association with, that's the key phrase, in association with goods or services.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so it has to be tied to something. So for anybody, remember when the Cardi B thing happened and they were like, "Oh, she wasn't even the first person to say, oh, crrr." Okay, my
Yeah.
daughter's talking.
Oh, you get that one correct. Okay.
She wasn't even the first
Perfect.
person to say it, and they were saying, "Well, how can she do a trademark registration?" Well, since that time, her trademark registration didn't go through for other reasons, but
Okay.
the point was she didn't have to be the first to say it. She had to be the first to use it in association with the sale of goods or services.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh my
So you
goodness.
can't
Look,
just own a phrase. You need to own it in association with some
that's right.
sort of product or service.
Look, you are dropping so much knowledge. My head is going to explode tonight. No, and I mean, and the thing about it is that there are so many of us, even including myself, where it's just like we do have things to protect, and if you're not informed, you're not able to do it. So they definitely they need to be booking with you, okay, right away, right
And then,
away.
the young people in particular, social media, a lot of people are rushing. That's just like time sensitive. Let's get on here, let's post this, let's post that.
Yeah.
And you really do have to be strategic, and think about, is it worth it for me to be the first to post this great idea or this dance or whatever, without protecting it? Because if you think about it, you don't know. Most people don't know, but by registering a copyright before you go out with the megaphone, that is social media,
Yes.
then you put yourself in position to be able to, at least get damages and attorney's fees if you have to sue somebody.
Okay.
So if you don't have a copyright registration in place and you find out there's a copycat, then you're potentially losing anywhere from $750 to $30,000 per infringement. So let's
My
talk about per infringement. That means if you email it to somebody, that would be one instance. If you download it, that'd be another instance.
oh
If you text it, so you would be getting whatever the statutory fee that's awarded
yeah.
per instance, plus your attorney's fees back. But if you don't have a copyright registration, then you're not going to be eligible for any of that.
My goodness.
Yeah.
For those that are listening in, okay, if you have something that needs to be protected, this is the message that you need to be pulling from tonight. Okay. That's the message. Now, Kimra, I know that you are a speaker as well, and you actually, you've gone around, you've been awarded look, thebomb.com. Like I really want to know, what is it like? Because naturally it's different from writing about the things and taking care of your clients that you work with. What is it like to be able to speak about this and really inform the public?
You know, Again, before I became an attorney, I was a behind the scenes person. So that little time that I was a hip hop artist, it was kind of different because I it was different. It was just a brief time, but I've never really been a public speaker. And I actually lean toward behind the scenes work. So whether it be video editing or camera work, even intellectual, even the practice of law, were it not for the speaking opportunities, is kind of an introverted thing. People will say this is quiet money. I don't have to go to court. Um, you know, I've been a virtual practitioner since 2008. So I have so many clients that I've never actually seen in person before. So I'm
Okay.
100% referral based. And so when it comes to, how it's different to do public speaking, and it takes something extra from me just because of my personality, that I am more introverted. I love talking to people, but I certainly I have to retreat. I'm not the person that's always at everything. I'm not
Okay.
the first person to speak up about something. But when it comes to the education, and that's what's funny about this. My mom is a retired elementary school teacher. And when I tell you
Stop.
all my childhood, I said, I'm never going to be a teacher. This
Right.
is what's funny about this, because I love teaching people about intellectual property. Now, I would have never thought in a million years that I would be volunteering to be anybody's teacher, but it's so important.
It is.
And especially in our community, because we lost more than 30 years. More than 30 years passed before Black people were able to hold their own patents for inventions that they were responsible for, because the Constitution recognized us as property and not as people. And if you're property, then you can't own an invention. You can't own a patent.
That's
So think
crazy.
about, yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, so it's just so important that, when something compels you, when something is this important, then you get the nerve, you get the it's a passion, it's really something that's so important that can make a big difference.
That's right.
Yeah, if you own it, then you can license it, and that's residual income for you course creators out there. You
Mhm.
know, do a registration, a copyright registration for your content, and register the name of your course and license it. So we miss so much money not knowing
Yeah.
how to do something one time and get paid for it over and over again.
I would like for you to share a message to those that I'm pretty sure that in your time that you run into a lot of people that feel like that they can do certain things themselves without having a professional like yourself.
Oh,
What would you say to someone that like, hey, you have intellectual property that you need to protect and they're trying to do it on their own? What would you say to them?
I would say that, the risk is not, the cost benefit analysis doesn't make sense, because some
Mhm.
people try to save money and they say, I can't afford an attorney. Well, I have something that I do personally to address this. When people need trademark services, I literally have a link where they can go and pay installments. I meet people where they are. So there
Okay.
is no minimum. You start. I'm not going to file the application until you get it all in, but you can
Okay.
chip away at that, right? I had to learn the hard way.
I know. No,
But
no,
you can
don't
chip
give it to them
away at it.
before you get paid.
That's it. But I mean, some people don't have that lump sum. But at the same time, there are people, I don't like to see this. There are a lot of people on social media who will say, you could do that yourself. It's just a form, and it does look like it's simple, but there are so many loaded questions in that trademark application form
Yeah.
that 40% of people who do it on their own get approved. So that's less than half without an attorney. But then even the people who get approved more than likely have somehow not gotten the maximum coverage they could get, just because of how they completed the application. So you
Okay.
can win and lose at the same time, is what I tell people. So you might
Yeah.
have gotten it. And the LegalZoom people, I'm sorry. I
I'm
get
so
a
proud
lot
of
of
them.
I get a lot of people who come to me from other companies, including LegalZoom,
Okay.
and so you're not going to have the same experience when you go to, I think, the attorney of your choice versus, what a trademark mill is, what, how we refer to them. So you have to think, some companies are making money,
Mhm.
from the volume, and other companies are making money by strategically deciding who they want to work with. So you just really have to make that decision. But so what I will say in conclusion about that is that when you do a trademark application, it's a 6 to 12-month process. And you're not even going to know if there are mistakes in your application until at least the 5th or 6th month. So what are you going to be doing all that time? Are you going to have a website? Because that's a risk. Are
Yeah.
you going to, promote it on social media? Because that's a risk. 'Cause you're just kind of at a standstill, not knowing whether or not you can actually keep whatever it is you are trying to register. So,
Okay.
the
Right.
saying goes, you wouldn't build a house on land you don't own.
Okay.
Don't start branding up a business without knowing if you can own the name.
Okay, you all heard it here first. Okay, so if you're in here and you're doing things backwards, I need you to get it in, get
Right.
information. Okay, definitely, definitely. So
Exactly.
I want
Yeah.
to know with your book, Copyright Compliance for Churches. Do
Mhm.
you feel compelled with some of the things that you see to maybe release a version for maybe a different type of industry or background?
Oh, absolutely. So I have just that it hasn't been fully launched yet, but I did a soft launch. I did a book on IP for gamers just because people in gaming. So yeah, I would definitely be going down the list because there's some areas that I think require more attention than others. So my goal is really to make it plain for people who, I speak in plain language just to give you hypotheticals about different things so that you can really be clear on what it means. So I have no interest in using legal jargon and everything going over your head. So the book makes it simple, gives real world experiences that
Mhm.
people have in churches, and then gives you the case law. There's a little summary at the top just in case you get lost in the language in the case law. Then it's a quick explanation, like a preview of what
Okay.
this is about. And then if you're nerdy like me, then you'll read all that language. But if you're not into that, then at least you'll be able to cite some examples.
That's amazing. And I want to know, before you leave me tonight, how can we support you? What, I mean,
Mm.
besides purchasing the book, okay, because everybody needs to purchase the book. What are some other ways that we can support you and just, get the word out about all you're doing?
Oh my goodness. Well, follow me on social media. I include tips on LinkedIn most often. I used to do them more often on Instagram. I still do some on Instagram. So you can my handle is at Kimra ESQ at KIMRA ESQ on all the social media platforms. So you can support me by following me because if you follow me, you're going to learn something and hopefully you'll run and tell that, as they say.
Okay. That's absolutely amazing. And you have had so much going on. Congratulations for all of the honors that you received for what you're
Thank
doing. And just, I'm very thankful that you shared your story because there's so many people that I talk to so many people all the time, Kimra, that they want to give up. I'm like, you
Mm.
got to stay in there. I'm like, the rewards may come later, but they will come.
Oh,
And
man.
you're a true example of that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, no, keep going. I say my dad's best advice to me was no one can take your skills away. And women, when you become a mom, when you become a wife, I've divorced, been there, done that. You just still have to keep pouring into yourself because that's what's going to give you the fuel to keep moving forward. So no
That's right.
matter what, your inner happiness is going to come from using your God-given gifts, which is why I like practicing in this area because it is helping people to protect their gifts and the ideas that have been given to them,
That's right.
whether, by God or other people, it's still protecting valuable things that can keep money in our accounts and help us take care of our children, our families. So
That's what
thank
it's all about.
you.
It's all about. Look, I am proud of you. You are truly black girl magic.
Hey,
Okay. And I love it.
appreciate
I
that.
can't wait to see the things that are coming. And you make sure, Kimra,
Mhm.
that when you write the next book, okay, whatever else is big, you come back and see me because we want
Oh,
to get the word out for
I
sure.
will. Thank you for having me on, Miss Michi, and congratulations again.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Okay. Thank you all
Bye.
for joining.
You all make sure that you go and if you haven't followed Kimra already, I need you to go ahead and do that as soon as possible. Okay. I'm going to take a quick break. And when I come back, I have tonight's Hate It and Love It. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Tax season is among us. Make sure that you get with the pros at Tax Strategy to help you limit your tax liability and help you get back the maximum refund that you and your family deserve. Visit www.yourtaxstrategy.info for more information on setting up an appointment and getting the ball rolling on your taxes this year. Let them know that the Blueprint Media Company sent you. Hey, y'all, it's your girl, MzMetchi, checking in, reminding you to shop my exclusive collection, Lavish Looks by MzMetchi, where we've got shades and everything that you need to look fly. Oh, and we also offer accessories. So ladies, put a little bit of razzle dazzle in your collection today. Be sure to shop with me and follow on social media at Lavish Looks by MzMetchi. Grab your products today at MzMetchi.com/shop. All right, y'all, it's time for Hate It and Love It. Let's get into it. All right, I'm going to start the Hate It and Love It off tonight. So, first off, if you are just joining me, make sure you drop those businesses. Before I jump in, I want to say, hey, Miss Monet said, congratulations. Thank you. Yes, your girl is syndicated. You can catch me on FluentRadioJamz 95.3 in Philly and Indy 101.5 in Jersey. Shout out to LNS Creations LLC, okay? Make sure that you all go and visit her site, lscreationllc.com, okay? She's got some cute gear. Miss Boss is doing her thing. Pouty Girl's in the house. Hey, Pouty Girl. Hey, Pouty Girl. Shout out to Miss Wendy. What's up, girl? Hey, sis, I see you. And Auntie Tracy said, what was the name of the book? You missed that. So the book's name is Copyright Compliance for Churches. Okay. That is by Miss Kimra Major-Morris. Okay. She's got it going on. Okay. You go and get the book. It's everywhere. And shout out to Ann F Services Transportation. Okay. He got the party buses. Y'all trying to go party? Y'all trying to go party? Because it's almost tourist season. Well, we going to let the Aries do their thing, though. We're going to let everybody finish out what they got going on. We see y'all. But it's about us, okay? So that's it. She said, okay, thanks. No, so tonight's Hate It and Love It. I'm going to keep it real simple. My Hate It for tonight is team meetings that could have been emails. I'll say it again for those that didn't hear me. Team meetings that could have been emails, okay? Why, when you are at work, they want to get on the call and nobody knows what's going on. No one knows they don't even know what they're talking about. So this week I had the opportunity, of course, at work to sit in on a few calls for some major things. I don't even know if I shared with you guys, but I got a promotion. I got that going on. So I was super happy about it. And basically we're taking a retail space that we're going to be managing and taking it from in development, and it'll be going live soon. And we got on the call and nobody knew the answers to stuff. It was really, 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 really weird. Okay. They didn't know what to do as far as that was concerned. They just, it was talking, ask a question. Okay, I'll get back to you. And I'm like, all of this could have been done via email. You guys did not need to stop all of our day, and get us on this call. And then outside of that, they made the call at 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, who is having real business calls at 3:30 in the afternoon? I don't understand that. I'll never, ever, ever understand that. If you're going to waste our time by putting us on a team call, a team meeting, that's like a 9 o'clock thing, 9 a.m., an 11 a.m., a 10 a.m., maybe a 12 p.m., but that's usually lunchtime. Please stop putting people on calls if you could send it out via email. That's the message for tonight, okay? So that's my number one hated it. My love it this week is, y'all know, since it's still been a little chilly outside, whatever, I like to get into my Netflix and chill. So this weekend, I watched a show called Young, Rich, and African on Netflix. And it was really, really good, y'all. They had the USB as far as the drama and all of that stuff on there. I was just you got in tune with all of the stories, all of the people from there. And it's just like, we don't really see a lot sometimes like internationally. So I'm always interested to watch shows that are based outside of the US to just kind of like see the vast differences and just like communication and different things. And I mean, what I found was that there was, of course, a lot of similarities as far as with things. And they're just as live and as turned up as we are over here in the US. So it was a treat to watch the show. They had about 7 episodes. And y'all, it opened up with a bang. And baby, it ended. If you watched it, it ended with a bang. A bang. Okay. The ending, literally, my mouth was open. I'm like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do here? It was absolutely insane. So that's definitely my first love it for the night. My second one is that I am loving, I've shared with you all before on the show about like going to therapy and having like a professional where you can go and talk about things. And people always have such a stigma that when you go to therapy, it's like something is wrong, or it's like, is something wrong with you, or they're crazy, or whatever the case is. But when you are whole, when you are healing, when you are doing all of these things and it's nothing but positivity, it is nothing wrong with going and seeking out those services. And it's been so helpful for me as far as being able to be more transparent. You know what I'm saying? Not like having a source and somewhere where it's like, hey, these are the things that are going on. This is what I'm feeling, and really talking out the different ways of how you can positively respond to things. So I just feel like that it's been a blessing. My auntie said on the live chat, in that order. Yes, in that order. Like, it's a beautiful thing. So it's something that I totally encourage everyone to do. Okay, everyone. And feel no shame about it. You don't have to feel that. Like anything that we're going to do that's going to help us improve on ourselves and the things that we have going on, that is always a positive. That's always a good thing that you can look forward to and that you can be happy about. So I definitely have to share that with you all. It's been working wonders. I'm like, I'm glowed up. I'm feeling good. My spirit is in the right place. So it's nothing but positivity. So I had to share that with you all. If you've been on the fence, like, I don't know, or, I don't know what people are going to say. Do it for you. Do it for you. And if you don't do it for nothing else, do it for you and for the people that you probably deal with that they won't take their ass to counseling. Do y'all want to have a real conversation? Okay. And do it for yourself. My auntie said it makes you a better you. And it does. It's just like, we're only, when you are whole and you are one, you're only enhancing what's there in the first place. Okay. So make sure that you go and do that. Now, for me on this week's The Nerve, the nerve. Let me take my sip. I just feel like that what Russia is doing to Ukraine, the nerve. Why? Why are we in the midst? Like everyone is on pins and needles. There's so many things, so much violence, so much stuff that's happening over there. My heart goes out to all of those people. And, one of the things that I found myself a little bit irritated about, and I tell you all the time, is like, if you see an article about something, don't go in the comments. Please don't go in the comments. Well, one of our historical Black colleges, I'm not gonna name them, but I will share the story a little bit later on. They are taking in over 100,000 refugees from Ukraine and everything. And you just went in the comments, and this was before people actually read the article, because you could tell. But they were taking in African American students and everything. And of course you go in the comments and they were just like, Black people are always taking in people of other races and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, when are we going to stop and just be like, what, we are all people. So even though they were taking in Black refugees, okay, and not that they were discriminating against anything, but they were letting them know, hey, this is a safe haven. You can come, you can continue your education. We will help you. We got you. It was just like all of these negative comments. And I'm like, what? The nerve of y'all. It's just like, we are people at the end of the day. What they're going through over in these other countries, okay, on a day-to-day, a week-to-week, and a year-to-year basis is not anything like what we deal with here in the US. But we still have to extend a hand, right? So We got to stop with the negativity. It's just like the nerve of y'all being like, here is a school that's stepping up and that's saying, we're here for you. We got you. We want to be here for you and do what it is that we can because we're people. That's what it's about at the end of the day. So it's just, for me, it just be a little bit ridiculous. Like, why do y'all do the things that y'all do? I don't understand it. But anyway, though, I want to play y'all a little bit. Let's do some Chocolate Star by Damo Moon. Let's just have a little bit of a dance break. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because I had to have a sip after talking about the world affairs, okay? This is my jam though. When the beat drop, everything.
I got something good for you. Get it from the back like ooh. Let me get on top like ooh. Honey, you wear something smooth like you. Chocolate buzz dripping on you.
I got some Jim Beam and Ginger Ale. Judge your people.
Can I be a chocolate star?
I feel like I want to go skating. I haven't been skating in years. Where my skaters at?
I can give you blue card charm.
Can I be a chocolate star? But what would you do gonna be off the chain tonight?
Can I be a chocolate star?
I want to know what y'all gonna say.
Can I be a chocolate star? Come on.
Let's get into today's What Would You Do? Where we're talking about real situations with real people and offering real solutions.
Okay, I had to jam out real quick. So tonight's What Would You Do? Oh, y'all, this is going to this one. All right. I'm just gonna read it. And y'all tell me what you think, okay? Because it's a little wild. My fiance is everything I've wanted in a man. Kind, handsome, professional, chivalrous. We are in the process of planning our wedding and have hit a budget snag over the number of guests. My fiance is a Dave Ramsey type of person, so alone is not an option for us. We both agree that starting our life together, deep in debt, is not a good idea. He offered to cover the increased cost of the wedding, and I want, but he's going to have to start stripping again to make finances work. He stripped his way through undergrad. He was upfronted about it with me, and he stopped when he started his career 6 years ago. He's still in shape and could do it, but Delaware is not that big, and I am very, very uncomfortable with the idea of him swinging his stuff in the faces and being fondled by women that I might know. Am I being insecure, or should I just let him get the money? Or should I just scale back the wedding so his goodies will only be seen by me? I've prayed about it and I still don't know what to do. What would you do? Oh, I would take a sip first. Oh. So if you're just tuning in for tonight's What Would You Do? Whoa. Okay. Whoa. If you just tuned in, they're getting married. Her guy used to be a stripper. They want to have an increased number of guests. He wants to go back to stripping in order to be able to get the funds for the wedding. She only wants her, his goods to be seen by her. Oh. And then they from Delaware. Shout out to Delaware in the building. Sis. It might I don't know. Who's in these comments? She said Tracy said red flag. I agree. I'm gonna have to agree with that. We don't know what the individual lives are for people who are dancers or whatever the case is. So I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to be like, oh no, looking down on anybody's profession. Everybody has a profession and it has to be done well. I feel like, is it really that serious? Like, he's in his career. You might need to scale back a little bit. That's what I would do. I would be scaling back at this point, because I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I would want my guy out there dancing either. I really wouldn't. That would be a little odd for me. Like, but you my man. I'm only supposed to see your junk, like your stuff. Me personally, I mean, I don't know. I plan my wedding, and it's so funny. I totally have something I'm going to share with you guys tonight as far as something crazy that happened to me this week. Woo! People are a trip. But needless to say, it's in the discussion of being married and whatnot. Like when I did my wedding, I was able to host, I had accounted for 200 people. Probably about 160 showed up, which was pretty good. I was like, okay, we're pretty solid at this point. And for me, I'm a little bit more of a bargain type of person. So I'm just like, if I can achieve the same great elegance and all of these different things for a lower price, I'm going to go for that. Cause I'm just like, that's more money that I could spend elsewhere. I can take that and allocate that for something else. So for me, I'm just like, okay, let's see where we can make some cuts, but still achieve the vision, But I do know that there are other brides, or there are other, grooms, whatever, that are not 100% like that. So it can make it a little bit difficult sometimes, as far as trying to find what is that median. I'm a firm believer that you should get all of the things that you want. So if you are, a bride, and you would like to, have all of the extravagance of everything that you're doing, I mean, nothing is wrong with that. No one is going to take that away from you. But if it's pushing your potential spouse to have to go back and do something that they walked away from, you have to decide, is one day worth what could come from that? Okay. Because we all know, I mean, we talk about opening up Pandora's box and stuff like that. Like, baby, that is cracking Pandora's box all the way completely open. So you have to be mindful as far as that's concerned. As for me and mine, I couldn't go for that. I was reading some comments, and people were saying like, oh, well, maybe he should start an OnlyFans, or you should start an OnlyFans, or whatever. And it's just like, okay, or if it's out of your means, you can live within your means. You can live within your means. You don't have to try to keep up with the Joneses and keep up with everybody else. That's not necessary. You don't have to do that. So for me, what would I do? I would probably look at ways that I could scale back so that it wouldn't push him to have to get another job, or me to have to get another job. Let's work within the means of what we have, and do whatever scaling that we need to in order to meet each other halfway as far as that's concerned. It's just not necessary to do all of the extra stuff. Like, it's just not necessary at all. So, that's personally me. Let me get into the comments. Glad it popped up early in the game. Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is that I applaud him for wanting to be, the man in the situation and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to get off my butt. I'll do whatever it needs to be done in order for this vision to come to light. So no one can take that away from him. But it's just like, to have to go to those lengths. Like she said, that he stripped his way through his undergrad. I don't know about you guys, but for those that have completed the undergrad, baby, it's just certain things you don't want to go back to. Like, I love Carbondale to death, or whatever the case is, but I'm not trying to go back down there to get a slice of pizza or do some stuff like that. Like, who wants to go back? Auntie Tracy said, yes, don't let it end up in regret. Right. Don't open up Pandora's box so close before the wedding if you don't need to. Girl, if you don't relook at your budget and see what's going on, you going to have that man back out there stripping so you can have a wedding of your dreams? I need to know, what are you doing to make the wedding of your dreams happen? How are you scaling back? What sacrifices are you willing to make? It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know, y'all. And I just want to know, clearly I think the consensus is that they don't need to do that. And for those, I got some people that's tuning in with me. For those, if you missed the what would you do? We got a couple that's engaged. They're trying to increase some of the guests for their wedding. She wants her dude to go back and strip. Well, she doesn't want him to. He said that he would go back to strip in order to make up the money that would need to be made in order to do that. Some things just aren't worth it. And it's like what people fail to realize, okay, because I'm not trying to make a distinction or sound crazy for those that are not married yet, but for those that have impending nuptials or different things like that, that one day, that is one day that you plan for. You have to think about the lifetime, okay? Because even those that have gotten married and maybe have gotten divorced or they want to get divorced or whatever the case is, they didn't go into it like, yeah, this is going to end soon. We're not going to be married. No, they went into it like, you know what? This is my number one. This is my forever, right? So when you think about how much you're going to put in for one day, only for one day, because your wedding, it's not like it lasts for a week or a month or a year. This is one day that you're talking about. You have to think about how much effort you're putting into that and where is it going to take you later on down the line. It seems like, she asked if she being insecure. No, I don't think it's being insecure. I just think that like we're still wanting to keep the wedding the way that it is, knowing that it's going to cause some type of financial strain on your relationship. I would think that insecurity would be the last thing that you would be thinking. And it's just like, okay, what can I do in order to keep it stable? Because that relationship you want that relationship to last past your special day. For me, I did not spend very much, but my wedding was as lavish as I wanted it to be because I'm like, okay, I'm going to scale back. I mean, I still have people there like, you had the best menu at your wedding. Because baby, I'm like, I'm not doing all that. We're not doing chicken and mashed potatoes, baby. We're not doing that. We're going to do a lot of things. We're not going to do that. We're going to do Cajun and Jamaican cuisine. We're going to do something different. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to do it at a budget that's feasible for my husband and I. We are middle-class Americans, baby. We are not rich. So I wasn't going to go and be like, yeah, you know what? So now I'm going to drop 20 to 25K on a wedding and buy. Because why are we doing that? It doesn't make any sense for one day. And the money that I was able to save, we just had a super lavish vacation. You know what I'm saying? Like in Jamaica. And I was just like, I'm cool with that, boo. Like I rock with that 110%. I don't need all of the extra stuff. It's just not a need. You know what I'm saying? So, girl, don't have your man up in the club like that. Let me see what Wendy checking in. She says sometimes people get caught up in the wedding and not the marriage. Bing bong, that part says they're so focused on like this one day. And for those of us that have had an actual wedding, you know that day from the time you open your eyes on your wedding day to the time you close it feels like a snap of a finger. It doesn't even feel like a whole 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like I just remember like being in the room at the end with Anthony and him helping me get out my dress. And I was just like, damn, today flew by real quick. Like, babe, like, can you believe, whatever. And it's just, we had spent, my husband and I gave each other approximately about 16 months from when we started planning because we didn't want to like hurry up and rush. My sister was getting married. It was a lot of different things going on. So we wanted to make sure that we took our time. We gave our family a chance to just kind of recoup because my sister had gotten married the year before. We were just like, okay, let's just take our time. Like, let's do this our way, pay for stuff up front. I'm like, I'm not putting shit on a credit card. Like, let's just, let's rock. And what can we do to set ourselves up for, our marriage? And it was like, we had done things even before we got married, purchased our home, did all of these different things, paid off stuff, did all of these things to stabilize, to make sure that like after April 20th, 2018, that we are still good for the long haul, that we don't have to struggle or be in a messed up spot for the long haul. I would never send Anthony out to be like, oh yeah, go start stripping or go start tricking or doing whatever you need to do for one day, not even for a long time, not even like so you could stack and put some money in your savings so you could get a house, so you could do whatever. You're doing it just for this one day. And half the time with weddings, check it out. You really paying for everybody else to come and eat and drink on your dime in the first place. So you gonna get what I give you. Okay. Wendy said, yes, you feel robbed of hours. Yes, I totally felt like that on my wedding day. There was like 6 to 8 hours that I'm just like, I simply can't account for this. I cannot account for this. I don't understand. Where are my 6 to 8 hours back? And where's a plate? Because I was hungry as hell. Okay. with this particular what would you do in wrapping it up, thank you all for for your feedback, Auntie Tracy and Ms. Wenday. Okay. Make sure that when you're thinking about your marriage, that we're not putting so much focus on the wedding day, but on the marriage. Okay. It has to happen. It's very, very, very necessary. So that one was heavy, y'all. She gonna trick them out. She gonna trick them out. She like, get out there, make some money. Since you're not being insecure, you're being unreasonable. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take a really quick break. And when I come back, I will have the what's happening, what's up. Hey, y'all, it's your girl, MzMetchi, checking in, reminding you to shop my exclusive collection, Lavish Looks by MzMetchi, where we've got shades and everything that you need to look fly. Oh, and we also offer accessories. So ladies, put a little bit of razzle dazzle in your collection today. Be sure to shop with me and follow on social media at Lavish Looks by MzMetchi. Grab your products today at MzMetchi.com/shop. The Black Dollar Days initiative has officially kicked off. Make sure that you join founder Faye Porter in her mission in uplifting the Black community. You can join by registering your business or just replying that you're in and you're ready to be in on this initiative. Okay? Visit theblackdollardays.com and do what you need to do to be a part of this. Be a part of the change that you want to see. Make sure that you follow them on all social media and let them know that the Blueprint Media has messaged you. Time to get into what's happening and what's up in these streets. Let's get it. If you're just tuning in with me, make sure that you are dropping those businesses in the comments. Remember, I am here for you, okay? This segment, of course, is brought to you by our friends at Black Dollar Days, okay? Shout out to Faye Porter. Shout out to the Black Dollar Days initiative, okay? Last week, if you all tuned in with me, first off, the show was lit, okay? I had Miss Lexi Blow joining me. She is the season 3 cast member of Jocelyn's Cabaret, okay? And she came, and I got to give you guys some tea as far as what was going on from my perspective last week. So she came on, she was in LA, so it was a little bit of like a time difference and things of that sort. But I didn't realize that after I had gone on live, that Jocelyn Hernandez from Jocelyn's Cabaret, you all know her from Love and Hip Hop, all of that, that she had released a statement in reference to the physical altercation that allegedly took place at the reunion that's being taped right now. Okay. So, or it has been, I'm sure that it's wrapped up at this point. So when Lexi Blow came on last week, it was, that was something that was fresh. I didn't even know it at that time. Naturally, I had followed everything that was going on up until she made her appearance on the show. And when she came in, I mean, for those that tuned in and listened, you knew that she was extremely upset and extremely disappointed about all of the things that had taken place. So, like I said, for those that don't know, there was an altercation where allegedly Jocelyn and her boyfriend Ballistic did get physical with one of the other cast members, Amber Ali. So last week things got heated after Amber Ali, the cast member for Jocelyn's Cabaret, took to social media to claim that she was attacked by Jocelyn and Ballistics while filming for the show's reunion. After detailing the physical altercation, Amber, as well as some of the other ladies from the show, got legal representation, and they're now making plans to file a major lawsuit against the network, Jocelyn Hernandez and Ballistic. Okay. So that was a new development because, of course, when we were talking last week, Amber Ali had sought out legal representation on her own. But now, now this week, there are more ladies that are joining forces as far as that's concerned. And, of course, on Sunday, Zeus Network did still air the episode of the Jocelyn's Cabaret that was supposed to be on. In light of all of the things that were going on, they didn't pull it. So everyone's just really kind of waiting around to see what's going to happen with that. And, for anybody that actually tunes into the show, because I mean, naturally I wanted to follow it. When I heard that it was a Black man that had created the Zeus Network, I'm like, I'm all in. I'm gonna subscribe. I'm gonna, do what I need to do. In watching the show, the same way and the same type of person that Jocelyn was, of course, on Love and Hip Hop, as far as like she was very boisterous, feisty, in your face, kind of tell it like how it is, would throw shade. She hung with the best of them as far as that was concerned. She of course took that demeanor, and it definitely amplified on her show on the Zeus Network, Jocelyn's Cabaret. So my heart goes out to those ladies. I mean, because like I said, you have to watch the show to see kind of how things go down and some of the rhetoric that's used. And I really just want to thank Lexi for coming on, because anyone else probably would have canceled or just been like, no, I can't do this, I'm too busy, because naturally she was still out there from the filming, but she still came on and was able to give a very raw representation of what happened from her point of view. So I'll definitely be staying on top of this story to just, of course, just make sure, like, are y'all okay? Because that's horrific if you're going and you're getting jumped and you're just trying to show up. I mean, these shows that we watch, this is a job for people. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like if you go to work right now and like, yo, freaking people stomp you out in the copy room. It's just like, God dang, what's going on? It's the same situations, but it's something that we're seeing. And of course, it's more amplified because it's on television. So make sure you guys keep up with that. So Willie Wilson, as you all know, from the Chicagoland area, he has been doing the gas giveaways. So at first he did a small amount. Today he did 1 million, and he has even reported that if gas prices continue to rise, he may do a third giveaway of gas. Now I'm like, what in the tax exemption? What in the tax liability? I'm like, what are you doing this for? But I'm really, really happy to see, he even expanded today's giveaway out into the South suburban area of Illinois. Okay. So for all my people that's tuning in to other cities, get y'all a Willie Wilson. Okay. Get y'all somebody that's going to pay the gas. They were filling people's tanks up to a $50 max. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm like, that's damn near a full tank of gas for me. So, shout out to Willie Wilson and everything that he is doing. A popular venue in the Chicagoland area, the Ravinia, okay, their festival that they're having, they've announced the 2022 lineup. And y'all, I was extremely disappointed because, like, they got Erykah Badu coming, but she's coming in like September. I'm just like, but who do we have in the meantime? And the only things that I saw on there was like Erykah Badu. I saw Diana Ross that I was interested in, and then like a reenactment of The Lion King. So y'all know I always pop out with my mother-in-law. If y'all follow me, I pop out with my mother-in-law, honey, my mother. And we like to go and see the people, like the bands and jazz and everything. So, I was really, really looking forward to that lineup coming out. Wasn't really pleased, but Lollapalooza's lineup came out too. And so I'm really, really excited about that. I'll definitely share that on the Blueprint Media Company page so that you all can see who's playing. So, if you're into live music, you like to go to concerts, we have been cooped up for the last couple years. So if you're ready to go, that's what it is. So I'll definitely be sharing that with you all. So if you see any of your artists, go check them out. Like, they're going to be in the city. Next story for today. So it's been reported that close to $200 billion have been saved by student loan borrowers under the repayment freeze that started during the pandemic. Okay. $200 billion. We saved $200 billion. I know I saved some money. Because I'm not gonna lie to you. Y'all know I've shared with you all before. I had 3 student loans. I knocked it down. I got 2. I got 1 that's on the way that's about to be done with. Okay. The second one. And I got 1 that's already out there. But the federal ones, I'm like, freeze them. freeze. I don't need them right now. So the fact that it's like they did that, imagine what it would be and like the lives that would be changed if they actually just eliminated the ones that are there. For me, I know that, if God blesses me to be able to expand my family and have children, I am going to let them know all of the different ways of how they are able to make a living for themselves without being so far into debt. Okay. Because, I mean, when I hear some of the student loans amounts, I'm like, wow, I thought my student loans were a lot. your student loans are astronomical. Okay. So $200 billion is what was saved with the repayment freeze. Okay. I'm like, y'all could extend it as much as y'all want to. Extend it until COVID is gone. Okay. Until it's complete. Till the pandemic is over. Yeah, go ahead and do it because people are still struggling. There's still job loss. There are still people that are on unemployment. There's a lot of different things. So, I can really applaud a lot of the companies that were putting freezes or allowing for payments to be pushed back. I mean, at the start of the pandemic, my old company that I worked for, I was one of the first ones to go. They were like, you make too much. You got to go. And they kicked out all of the higher earners first. We were the first ones to go. They like, you got to go. You got to get up out of here. So keep an eye on that. I'll definitely be letting you all know. I believe that they've extended it past May. So I'm just like, okay, MzMetchi gonna go on a little vacation with the student loan money. Just don't be in default. We're not doing that this year. Get some type of thing going. It's too many programs, too many assistance things that they offering you for you to still be defaulting on your loans. Get it together now, okay? Now, this particular news story was from our partner, Miss Zeewiththetea, baby. You better make sure that you go and follow her at Zeewiththetea, all spaces. She reported this week that gospel legend LaShawn Pace, a member of the famed trio, the Anointed Pace Sisters, that she passed this week at 60s, okay, at 60 years old. Now, if you all have been on TikTok like me, you know that act like you know, act like you know, act like you know, act like you know, act like you know. Okay, that's them. Okay, so if you've been wondering like where's that from, okay, we are talking about the Pace Sisters. So famous gospel group. It's very, very hard when you lose a family member. And, and I say it all the time as far as with these celebrities and everything. I'm like, they are people just like us. They're people just like us. So we got to make sure, that we give grace. So sending my love and condolences to the Pace family, okay? Because that's not, losing anybody, especially someone that has they have made so much of a segue within the music industry as far as gospel. She would truly be missed. So definitely rest in peace for that. Y'all, that's all I got for what's happening, what's up tonight. There's a lot happening and going on in the street. So if you all know some things, let me know, okay? So I can let the people know. I'm going to go ahead. I think that we could just get into like a little bit of music or something. I feel like we need a little bit of a dance break. I don't know. What do you guys think? I am feeling like, I think I'm going to do Outer Space by my boy Shaz Up. Get your drinks. I'll keep mine right here. Keep it safe.
It's never over when I come for us, we never sober. Forever soldiers, you never want to know when it's colder. Can never hold us, I'm free high, I'm sure you smell that odor. Hit my old bitch, that's X-Files, Scully and motor. But never mind, in search of a better time, a plug with better ties, a coupe, Pirelli ties, never slow motion, and whiskey or cognac in my potion. These words are spoken, and when I'm smoking, that shit so potent. Forever token, this game so real, so
about to wrap up.
Essential business, my nigga, I keep my itches open. You never knew it, not flashy, I'm not the type to show it. Lamers get a bag and just as quick you can watch them blow it. Lose it like a hike in this life, you'll pay the price. Now she ain't my wife, but
I can't wait till their new album come out.
Smoking at the coop at the corner.
Y'all know I love my boy Shaz Up. I'm gonna have to bring Dog Lotto back on with me. He let me say his name wrong with everything. He like that's not how they be saying this. Sis. I'm like, but I've been calling you that for years. And he about to go off.
Get that work off, first off. Give a fuck about these jerk offs. Go so hard they burst off. We could all be worse off. Get a purse toss. Been winning since beginning, still they cursed off. So ain't it on my business when I'm finished? I'll be.
Y'all not just have to rock out real quick. So, okay. Shooting the breeze. If you all have not listened to my sis Renita Be Your Own Kind, I need you to get in tune with her, okay? So this is a segment that's on her show, and I felt like it would be really fun for tonight because y'all know I produce everything for my show, and I'm just like, Lord, what do we talk about? And she has this segment where it's just like anyone that's tuning in, that they do that. So I'm bringing y'all this segment here on the Blueprint Live. It's sponsored by Be Your Own Kind, okay? Miss Renita Best, shout out to my good sis, okay? Happy birthday to her husband, okay? Birthdays. Happy birthday to my friend Shay. All of that. Like we shooting the breeze tonight, okay? So we giving out the birthday wishes. I gotta tell y'all what happened to me. So you know how you have your friends, people that you've known for a long time, known them since childhood, high school, college, things of that sort. So I had two instances that have happened. There was one that happened, to me this week. And then there was, one that was a few weeks ago that I can't remember if I told y'all. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a briefing. Went out a few weeks ago with one of my friends. I was like, oh, we can go do some wine tasting. It's always when we're around wine. Now that I'm recognizing that all of this happened at the same place, it's kind of weird. But needless to say, go to Cooper's Hawk, and we're talking. And at that time, I was preparing for the pop-up that I was going to be doing, the first one that I did this year. And my friend was just like, oh, I didn't know that Lavish Looks was a legitimate business. What do you mean? So naturally, that was my first reaction. It's just like, oh, well, I thought when you were just selling the shades, like that was like some one-off-ish. I didn't recognize that was a legitimate business. And I'm just like, well, what I need for people to stop doing is downplaying what someone else is doing, right? We're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that. So naturally, I was extremely offended. And, as nice as I am and as wonderful as I try to be, I definitely had to go in. I'm like, a legitimate business? I'm like, not only can you Google me, but I'm just like, everything is registered. I'm like, I handle my business. Like anyone that knows me knows that I'm about my business at the end of the day. I'm about my business. Even if it's not my own personal business, what I do as far as my 9-to-5 job, I tell everybody, I'm like, I got a big girl job doing big things. Okay. But I literally have to take care of things and make sure that things are in order. So when you get up and you work every day at your business, and for someone that's supposed to supposedly be a friend say that to you, how offensive, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. Let me get into these comments really quick. Wendy said, I know you effing lying. No, I'm not. Literally said that. Now, mind you, here's the key about that part, Wendy. The person that said this to me they conduct business, right? They conduct business that actually, if they mess up really bad, they can be sued, and they're not even licensed and bonded. That part for me. So I'm like, you gonna try to say that my business isn't legitimate and you don't even have your own affairs in order. What we have to do is learn to start sweeping in front of our own doorstep before we try to sweep in front of somebody else's. And especially if you're gonna throw shade, at me, you better make sure that all your stuff is together before you come for me. But that's not it. She said, which eye she want black? Okay. Preferably probably the left one. Wendy said, very offensive. I would have to swerve her ass so damn fast. Yeah. Needless to say, I have not talked to that person since then because I'm just like, I'm like, screw you. Like anybody that sees me, like y'all know I do promotions. This is what I do, okay? I am a legitimate business. I've been there. You can look it up if you want to. I'm not a fan of having to tell people you can Google me, but it'll pop right up. And I'm sorry. Of course, I'm a super humble person or whatever the case is, but I'm going to pop my ish if necessary, okay? Don't come for me unless I send for you. So the second thing that happened, this happened this week, okay? Again, having a conversation or whatever the case is with the old friend, hadn't seen them for a while. People like to fall off when you popping your ish. You get what I'm saying? Like when you doing what you got to do. And this person says to me, I wanted to pull back because I didn't want to be invasive or intrusive or whatever the case is, because I felt like you were still in development. Oh, let me take my sip. Wendy said it's the audacity for me. Sis, I'm gonna have to agree with it. She said it's the audacity for me, and she said talk your ish. I'm just saying. And at that particular point, I felt the need. I'm like, I gotta say something to you, because I'm just like, for one, let's break it down. Let's have a real conversation now. I've been a business owner for 4 years in conjunction with working my corporate job. I'm a corporate-preneur. Someone said that on my show. Shout out to them. I can't remember off the top of my head. So I have to do extra, because I don't just come back and I don't just half-ass my business. I do what I'm supposed to do on all fronts. Even when if I don't have not a piece of energy left, I'm going to always have energy left for my business, okay? So when you tell me that I'm still in development, okay, you tell me I'm still in development, and I've been able to get people of importance on the show. I am bringing you guys people that are of importance, whether they are a celebrity or not. We just talked to Kimra tonight. She is an intellectual property lawyer, okay? She is helping people to protect the things like what I do and what you do or whatever you have going on. We have people of importance that are coming through weekly. Partnerships that are weekly, the brands that I work with, including Pouty Girl, including Noir Girl, the hair that I got on this Gems by Jazz, all these people. I'm like, I am doing my stuff, and you sit in my face with all of the work and my work that you've seen, and you say that I'm in development? Are you on crack or are you on crack? I have real questions that need legit answers. For me, I have to be honest that these people that I'm sharing, I'm sharing these instances with, have shown me things or said things to me that have been offensive. And before I just, sometimes I'll be too humble, right? I'll be like, don't respond like that. I try to handle things as diplomatically as possible. It's a lot of people that if I aired their ass out right now, I would get canceled before I got started. It's a lot of people that deserve to have gotten read. It was a lot of people that deserved to get gone off on from me directly for doing foo stuff. Foo, absolutely foo. That because I wanted to protect my peace, and because I have a brand with 2 subsidies under it. Let's talk. That's not in development. It's developed, and it's only going further. A lot of people that I've spared because of who I am. But baby, if I was any different, I would air it all out. So a lot of people should be so lucky, okay, that I don't do those things. And yes, it's on my mind today, so I'm gonna talk about it. I usually don't come with this energy because I try to keep it all positive, but y'all gonna stop coming at business owners like that. And we're not talking about people that's scamming. We're not talking about the ones that's going to crack your car to do it. We're talking about registered businesses, people that are trademarked, as we were talking about earlier, people that have their stuff in order. I'm like, do you file your business on your taxes? And the first person I was talking to y'all about was not a girl. Y'all was saying it was a girl. It was actually one of my male friends that was saying that to me. And I'm like, you going up in houses and breaking people's houses and demolishing stuff and doing everything, and you're not even licensed and bonded. How dare you? What we have to do is stop being offensive to other business owners. Have some respect. Show some type of class. If you don't have anything to say, or if you have a question about something, ask that. But to say that, oh, I didn't know that was a legitimate business. Or to say you're still in development when I'm not developed. What's really going on? So Wendy put 100. I ain't even mean to do all that. Trying to say, sis, you are groundbreaking. You know this. It's trying to say, Jasmine says that to me all the time. Shout out to Gems by Jazz. As you can see, I put my hair on. I've been rocking my real hair, but I was missing my gems. So I decided to go ahead and add that back to the mix for tonight. Okay. But no, she says that to me all the time. And what I'll tell you about Jasmine is that she said that to me a lot of times. And Jasmine, Jasmine, we have talked so much. That is my girl. Wendy is my girl. My auntie, no, I've talked to y'all. And there's been certain situations where y'all just like, I don't even see how you didn't go off. And I just be like, there's bigger things that's coming. So I got to conduct myself accordingly, because when God decides to bless me, anybody and anything that's attached to me has no other choice but to grow and to do the things that need to be done. Right? I'll say that to you all the time. So I always try to keep things, but lately I've been on one. I think it's the therapy. I'ma check your ass if you saying some crazy stuff. Period. You don't come for me unless I sent for you. And I don't send for nobody, because I do what I need to do on my own without all of that. Okay. She said, well, cancel his ass. Cancel. It happened a few weeks ago. She said, that's why the person is where they are and you are where you are. 100. Period. That's just what it is. And like I said, I don't want any of my comments or anything that I'm saying to be misconstrued as me being like cocky, because anybody that knows me, for one, God is the head of my life. He is the reason why all of these things have happened. He has pulled me through some dark times, baby. It was so many times I wanted to stop this. When I lost my grandmother, I lost my uncles. I had so much loss around me, depression, anxiety, all of these different things that was meant to stop me. They were literally set in front of me as roadblocks to stop me. And I still pushed through. So when I have somebody come and say some silly stuff to me, like, I didn't know that your business was legitimate. I didn't know that, or you're still in development. I've arrived where I need to be, and it's only going to go up from there. So for what people need to refrain from doing is saying stupid stuff, not only just to me, but to other business owners. If anybody tries to come at you about the validity of what it is that you're doing, and you popping your ish, pop your ish. That's it. That's it. And don't be afraid to let somebody know, because to give you all some follow-up, I'm just like this. I am in no way, shape, form, or still in development. I'm there. I'm taking it to the next level. I'm only enhancing what it is that I have going on. But development, I think that happened 4 years ago. I'm continuously developing as far as being better. But in terms of having a foot, having a business, and doing what I need to do, yes, no, I'm doing that. That is established. It's a legitimate business, okay? So I didn't even mean to go off like that. That's what's in it. And I feel like, we talk every week, so I got to tell y'all what's going on. Stop letting people talk crazy to y'all. I know for me, I let a lot of people talk crazy to me. A lot of people say stuff, throw shade, do little things. And then the thing about it is, like, they'll be throwing shade at you. And my whole thing is, this is my message to y'all. Hear me and hear me clear. I'm going to say it into the microphone. If you have something to say about me, at me, say what you got to say. Pop your ish. If you're going to pop shade and you throwing shade in the atmosphere, if it's not directed, it's not respected. That part. If you have something to say, then say it. Because please believe, if I have something that I want to say, I'm going to say what I got to say. I'm going to say, I will say it with grace and with the same level of compassion that I would want someone to say it to me. But I'm going to say it to you. I'm not letting nobody talk crazy to me. And I'm not letting people try to take down the credibility of what it is that I'm doing, because I work my ass off. The people that I have around me, every partner of this show, every person that I am partnered with, that I'm a brand ambassador for, you got pop your ish. Anybody come trying to tell you like, oh, is it real? Oh, are you really doing this? Or why you doing this? It's not for them to understand the vision. Period. Let me get into some of these comments. Wendy said enough is enough. I agree. It is. That's why I just went on a whole tangent. Auntie Tracy said, yes, that's because you give yourself grace. Absolutely. Auntie Tracy. And my auntie first off, she one of my biggest supporters. Like, it was so many days that I want to stop, and she don't even know that some conversations that it kept me so lifted and it kept me so inspired. I don't even think you all know, Wendy and Jasmine, everybody that's tuning in, like, you guys keep me going. I'm like, I can't do it without y'all. Jasmine said, go ahead, sis. You held that in too long. You know me. You should have said more. Girl, I mean, my whole thing is like, look, you don't have to blast nobody, because when they doing foolish stuff, they going to blast themselves. If you out here and you moving fool, Everybody's going to know that you're moving foo-foo anyway. There's nothing that I need to say. I don't have to put you on blast. There's some people, there's some business type of things and dynamics that I've had where people have screwed me, y'all. Like, I mean, they've done some stuff and I've watched them continuously do it to other people. And I'll just be like, you know what? Not my monkey, not my circus. I'm not getting into that. I'm not, because at the end of the day, what God has for you, he has for you, or whomever you pray to. I'm not trying to get super religious or do anything like that, but y'all know, I think I'm going to thank God at every turn, okay? Because he did it for me. He got me through some things that if I even told y'all a percentage of some of the things that I have had to deal with along with this, from different people within the industry, people, stealing, scamming, all types of stuff, like just different things that like you should not have to deal with when you are trying to do God's honest work. I genuinely believe that I found my purpose as far as like, I'm supposed to be here to promote and do things for others, to make other people feel comfortable and to give them a space, to give them a platform to talk about how it is that they are popping they-ish, okay? That's what I'm here for. So when somebody tries to come at your mission or whatever it is that you're doing, for one, what you got to do is get them naysayers about your life. Because I need y'all to know that these two instances that I'm telling y'all, it's deuces. It's curtains as far as I'm concerned. Along with even some other people where I'm just like this. We don't have to speak on nothing. People know the weak ass stuff that they be doing. They know it. It don't have to be displayed. Everything don't have to be a conversation. Are you going to tell them how you feel? Hell no. Because they knew what they was doing. If you post something and you being shady, okay? If you took products from somebody and you supposed to do something with it and you ain't did nothing, you're wrong. Okay. How many of my business owners, you sent some free products out to somebody and they didn't do shit with it? Okay. And you was salty as hell because that could have been something that you could have sold to somebody. If you out here moving like that, you don't even have to do people like that. It don't even have to be like that. So yes, Jasmine, I did. And I'm saying what I got to say right now, but I want to wrap it up because, I could rant about this shit all night, but we're not going to keep coming for other people that are doing things, whether if it's music. I don't care if you're 40 years old and you trying to be a rapper. You all heard what Kimra said. She, started out within the music industry. Look at all of the different pivots that she's done. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. Don't let anybody try to come for you and what your mission and your destiny is. Okay. And that's just how I'm going to leave that on that. Okay. Y'all know what time it is though.
Thank you so much for all of my listeners for tuning in. And now it's time for the quote of the night.
It's time for the quote of the night. It's time for the quote of the night. Okay. In light of everything that we just talked about, I feel like this particular quote's going to really hit tonight. So here it is. Never forget how far you've come, everything you've gotten through, all the times you pushed on even when you felt you couldn't. All the mornings you got out of bed, no matter how hard it was. All the times you wanted to give up, but you got through another day. Never forget how much strength you've learned and developed along the way. Okay? No matter what it is that you're going through, whether if it's personal, if it's in your business, your relationship, or whatever the case is, never forget where you came from. Okay? So even though I just went on like a little rant and I had to pop my little ish real quick, because that's what was on my spirit tonight. I have very humble beginnings. I'm thankful for the opportunities. I'm thankful for the people that took a chance on me. I mean, Wendy is tuning in with me tonight. Jasmine's tuning in. These are two women that have amazing brands. Pouty Girls, that y'all know I wear their stuff all the time. Sorry, Pouty, I got on Noir Girl tonight. I wanted to pop my red tonight. But you all see me promoting their products all the time. Gems by Jazz with the hair. These women could have picked any other women to help in representing their brands and what it is that they have going on. And they chose me. My partner, Fluent Radio, was started off as a partnership. They've been able to help me expand and introducing me to the Philly station, Philly Jams 95.3 and Indy 101.5 in Jersey. Like, they were the ones that made that happen. So when you move with integrity, when you do all of these things, you have to take a look back at that to see how it's gotten you to where you are now. You can't ever forget that part. So no matter what I've been through, no matter how many times I felt like, man, there's doors closing, I don't feel like things are going where it is. I remember where it all started. I remember, okay? Support District Radio Network, My Radio Chicago. Like, that's where I got my start. I remember Gary P from Boot Camp Radio. I'm shouting out to everybody. Shakita Bananas. I remember all of that. I remember all of that. And I keep it with me as I continue to keep moving forward, because it's a part of the journey, right? Everything that we go through is a part of the journey. So if you've been going through some things, you've been struggling, it doesn't even have to be in business. It could just be in your personal life. If you had some different things that you've encountered along the way, remember how far you've come. Remember every lesson, everything that you needed to pull, the strength, okay? Everything that you had to pull from those to get you to where you are now. You are valuable. You are here. Take up space, make noise, do everything that you're supposed to do. To continue to keep making your impact. Because see, the thing about it is, with us all being individuals, we all have something that we can bring to the table and bring to others. And that's what it's all about. So just make sure that you never, ever forget any of those things, because it's a part of your journey and it is very important. Okay. Let me get in these comments really, really quick before I wrap up. She said, remember. Yes, remember. Please remember that. Like, never, ever forget it. I have to thank my amazing guest, Miss Kimra Major-Morris, for joining me, okay? Now, if you all have intellectual property that you need to protect, or if you even have some questions, make sure that you're reaching out to her. Set up the consult, you guys. If you got something that's important and it's yours, you want to make sure you have the necessary protections behind it, okay? And make sure that you get her book. Let me go back up real quick. Make sure that you all get her book. Right now it's available on all platforms. I'll be dropping the link for it and everything, and make sure that you check her out. She's absolutely an amazing attorney. She hosts a show. Like, she has so many different things, a lot of things we didn't even get a chance to touch on, because she's done so much. So make sure that you all go and check her out. And shout out to Tamika Inc. and Miss Sharon Monet. Okay, I love those ladies. They're absolutely great, and they put on for their people. Okay. Of course, make sure that you're following the Blueprint Media Company on all platforms. And if you go to Instagram and Twitter, it's at the BP Media Co. And follow me, your girl, MzMetchi, Miss Mechi, okay? On all platforms, you can find me everywhere. Follow me on TikTok too, okay? Do that. And make sure that you subscribe to the Blueprint Media Company on YouTube. Okay, we're trying to get those things up. Lexi Blow, shout out to her. She had a whole bunch of people on the Blueprint Media Company YouTube this weekend. So I appreciate my good sis. Okay. If you haven't already, make sure that you are shopping Lavish Looks by Miss Mechi. Okay. You can visit MzMetchi.com/shop so that you can check out my accessories collection as well as the sunglasses. Okay. And I've got some cute stuff for the ladies and the gents. Okay. Fiya Infusions, Tax Strategy, and Black Dollar Days, my amazing sponsors. Thank you all so much for everything that you do. And last but not least, if you missed tonight's broadcast, make sure that you are listening in. If you're in Philly and Jersey, okay, make sure that you get in tune with Philly Jams 95.3 and then 101.5 over in New Jersey. And then, of course, Fluent Radio, okay? 9 p.m. Eastern time. That's where we're at. And you can also listen to past shows on all platforms where you listen to your podcast. Okay. I love y'all. I'll be back next week, of course, with an amazing show. And I hope you have a great week. Okay. Bye.